let's dive into the Pittsburgh Steelers' keys to victory. Game week 2, Denver Broncos. I won't say it's an easy one. I don't think any of these are easy ones right now while the Pittsburgh Steelers work through some quarterback situations and try to find their offensive line and still don't have a wide receiver outside of George Pickens. There are a lot of questions surrounding them. Now they're hit with another injury when it comes to Patrick Queen. This will by no means be a blowout in my eyes, at least in my opinion, but the Pittsburgh Steelers could walk away with a win, and I got 3 reasons that I say they have the advantage if they pull these 3 keys to victory off. Number 1, Justin Fields can't turn the ball over. You can't look at this game and say, oh, well, you could do exactly what you did last week and kick 6 field goals and walk away victorious. That is not going to work every single week. I'm sorry. You got to get in the end zone. And I think last week was a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers and for Justin Fields in that offense, certainly. But take that next step forward, score some touchdowns, get in there. At the same time, don't get sloppy with the football. Justin Fields starts throwing interceptions. Pat Surtain starts taking over George Pickens. Fumbles, missed snaps, whatever they are, Denver Broncos take advantage. For 1, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense gets tired. For 2, the Steelers lose all that momentum. And for 3, the last place you want to start thinking about whether or not Russell Wilson should be in that game is Denver, Colorado, when all week we talked about how Justin Fields should be the guy that's suiting up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You want to lose yourself a job, turn the football over, and lose a game against the Broncos. It's the easiest way to do so if you're Justin Fields. That's my biggest one. Hands down, my biggest one. If Justin Fields does not turn the football over and the Pittsburgh Steelers play clean football and put themselves in victorious situations, they walk out of here winners. I'm very confident about it. Number 2, sticking on the offensive side of the football here, Pat Freiermuth. 27 receiving yards in week 1. I had him at 27.5. Shout out to Pat Freiermuth. And this week, well, if Van Jefferson's not going to do anything, if Calvin Austin's not going to do anything, hopefully you get Roman Wilson back, but you don't know what to expect out of a rookie making his first ever NFL game, ever, preseason included. Pat Freiermuth's got to have more than 50 receiving yards. That's a big one to me. You got to be a contributor in this one. George Pickens has a tall task on his hands, and I still think he comes up with the football. I still think that you give him opportunities. I still think that you challenge him with Pat Surtain there. I don't care. You need a number 2. Pat Freiermuth's got to prove to be that number 2. I don't care if it's on the outside, if it's in the middle of the field. Doesn't matter to me as long as he gets the football and has over 50 receiving yards. If he can do that, the Pittsburgh Steelers have another receiving option, another receiving threat that this defense has to pay attention to. Opens up a whole can of worms about whether or not Justin Fields could run the football. Maybe you get a guy like Roman Wilson involved a little bit. I don't know, but you need that number 2. Pat Freiermuth's got to prove to be that number 2. I'm saying Pat over 50 yards is a must in week 2. And then number 3, what's up, guys? It's football season, and we've teamed up with DraftKings. Right now, new customers who bet $5 will receive $250 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you'll receive 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. It's hard to think of a better way to celebrate fall weather, your favorite jersey, and Sunday touchdowns than with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings app and use our promo code ALLSteelers. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly and 1 month of NFL Plus Premium after betting just $5. Stay in the action and use your $250 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. DraftKings is the place to bet touchdowns. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You could still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code ALLSteelers and bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSteelers only at DraftKings Sportsbook. We talked about it earlier. Patrick Queen's down with the groin. We don't know if he's going to play. Let's assume that even if he does, he's limited. This is a make or break for Peyton Wilson. And by make or break, I mean he makes or breaks this defense. If you play well, awesome. There are no hiccups. You don't even have to worry. The Steelers defense looks just as good, if not better, in week 2 than they did week 1. If he struggles, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense takes a pretty significant step backwards. And, well, you just don't know what's going to come there, especially with the team who runs the ball as well as the Denver Broncos run the ball. This is a big one. This is a lot of weight on Peyton Wilson's shoulders. I'm excited to see what he could bring because we've talked all summer long about how exciting Peyton Wilson is and how he's the future. Haven't had one of those in a while. And how you're just waiting for his opportunity, and that opportunity will continue to grow. Came a little bit earlier than you thought it was going to be, but here it is. Peyton Wilson, all eyes on you. You're playing middle linebacker. Patrick Queen, even if he does start, I expect Peyton Wilson to take a very significant amount of reps in this one. Peyton Wilson is my third key to victory. You gotta be Peyton Wilson, and I got a lot of faith that he could do it. Those are my three heading into week 2.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is the first one you mentioned there for good reason. I mean, Justin Fields protected the ball last week, and he wasn't spectacular, but we all looked at that and said, that's exactly what you need. And that was what Justin Fields needs to be able to be compared closer to Russell Wilson in the Steelers' eyes, because that was the big hiccup with Fields coming in is he does turn the ball over. He does fumble the ball a lot. Can he get that under control? And I understand there were a couple bobbled snaps, but I think that was not like typical Justin Fields bobbled snaps. I think there's a little bit more that goes into that. One, comfortability under center, especially in a game where you weren't expecting to start 2 days ago. But protecting the ball is going to be huge. And then the other two you mentioned, Pat and Peyton, big pieces, because you're going to need those secondary pieces. And that's the thing with the Steelers. They have the superstars. Like on defense, you have TJ Watt, and he's going to be TJ Watt. You have Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he's going to be the same thing. Same with Cam Hayward. It's these secondary players. If they can step up and have big games, it's always going to go in the Steelers' way. The one thing I'll add to this, and it's on the defensive side of the ball, the Steelers' defensive front needs to be able to contain, and force Bo Nix to beat them with his arm, because I don't think he can. I don't think he can beat anybody with his arm at this stage of his career. I think the one thing he's going to be leaning on is, can he get out of the pocket? Can he make some plays on the run? And can he make some plays with his legs? It's the same thing that the Broncos are probably saying about Justin Fields, but the Steelers need to be able to contain. They have great edge rushers. They have a solid middle. Cam Hayward was a beast last week. They need to put that on display this week, and they need to squeeze Bo Nix in the pocket, force him to beat them with his arm.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think you put pressure on Bo Nix. You force him to be uncomfortable in this ball game. You walk away victorious. He had a couple of Deshaun Watson throws last week. Let's be honest. And I got faith in Bo Nix. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. But he had a couple of Deshaun Watson throws last week where you were like, I don't think that kicking net was the target. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't a throwaway. So you had a couple of those. I agree with you. You force him to be uncomfortable. Bo Nix takes a pretty strong step backwards from his ability to take over this game and just put the team on his shoulders. That forces the run game to be more effective. It puts more pressure on deep balls and kind of playing hero ball. And yeah, that's when Dante Jackson and Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter Jr. and Deshaun Elliott start taking advantage. I agree with you 100% in this one. You make Bo Nix uncomfortable, you win this football game.